Hi there, it's Ashley with Mama Needs a Manual, and we've been going over this Tantrum survival guide. And so if you're new, we've already gone through T-A-N-T, and today we're talking about letter R. And so if you want to catch these videos, you can look on my YouTube channel or you can look on the blog, and I hope that you found some helpful tips so far. So letter R, I had a hard time picking just one, so I actually chose 4 of the tools that we use in our home to help in the area of tantrums. And so the first one is redo. So for my object lesson, I have a remote control. Wouldn't it be nice if life just had a rewind button? Unfortunately, it doesn't. But for our kids, when they're still learning how to ask kindly, how to share, how to respond to you with a good tone and not yelling, you can simply just say, can you do that again? So a lot of times my son might yell at me, can I have a pouch? Or he might say something in an unkind tone to his brother. And I'll simply say, can you try that again, bud? And then he'll say, oh, well, may I have a pouch, please? And he knows how to ask it the correct way. And so it's just, I'm bringing it to his attention that he didn't say it kindly or politely. And so you can simply just ask your kid to redo whatever they did. And sometimes that is just very easy. It's a way to train them how to be kind and polite to others. So if it's something that's like really bad, say he hurt his brother, then he would need a consequence first, and then we might ask him to redo the situation again. Like if they're fighting over a toy, we might put them back into that situation and then say, okay, so what could you have done differently? What should you do? And so we're hopefully teaching them to learn from their mistakes and to learn from their failures with the redo tool. The second one is role play. Now for role play, I have Daniel Tiger and Elmo here. So this can be really fun. Actually, my boys love it. Sometimes if they're struggling with a certain skill, like again sharing, that's a big one in our house. Sometimes I might take some of their favorite animals, or if you have girls and you have dolls, you can make them fight over a toy, mine, and then ask, what should they do? And you'll be surprised, at least my boys usually know what the answer is. They should find another toy, they should share, and then I ask, well, what if Daniel Tiger wants the toy and Elmo wants the toy? What do they do? And so we can talk through that situation and we can act it out. Or say that you want to play come to mommy with the toys, so Daniel Tiger is running away and Elmo is the mommy. He's like, come here, Daniel Tiger. And again, you can role play different scenarios, anything you're struggling with stuffed animals, anything you have in the home. A lot of times kids learn through play. Along those same lines, they learn through really anything. But storytelling is an incredibly powerful way to help our kids learn. So anytime we're reading books, a lot of times I'll look for teaching moments. I'll talk about things that are happening in the book, and we'll look for an opportunity to teach them things. This is a new favorite in our house. What if everybody did that? I'll have a link to it on the blog. But this is a great book for teaching kids to think about what's right and wrong. There's like 8 or so different scenarios in here. Like, what if everybody threw trash out the window? What would happen? And then they see everything's messy, and so it helps them understand, oh wait, those rules are for a reason. What if everyone caught out during the library story time? What would happen? And so you can teach through story, you can teach through even TV, movies. My boys love Finding Nemo, and at the very beginning, when Nemo doesn't obey his dad and he touches the boat, he gets taken away by the scuba diver. And so I oftentimes say, did Nemo obey his daddy? And they said, no. And I said, what happened to Nemo? Nemo's daddy wanted him to be safe, and so we talk through that. We want you to obey so that you're safe. And so you can use like anything that they love to teach them, really. And so that's role play. The next R is rehearse. For that, we like superheroes in our house. My boys like the capes and the mask. So rehearse. This can be super powerful as well. So oftentimes, if you prepare your kids for a situation, things go so much more smoothly. And sometimes I forget to do this, but oftentimes if we're on the way somewhere where I know there's going to be a lot of kids, it might be crazy, I try to prepare my boys by saying, okay, when we get there, there's going to be a lot of toys, but are you going to share your toys? And remember, whenever it's time to go and mommy says, come here, what are you going to do? And they say, run to mommy, And so we kind of talk through what to expect. For a while, my boys both had a really hard time when we dropped them off at church. And the nursery, they just went through a season where they would cry a lot. And so I would tell them about 5 minutes to church, I would say, okay, when we get to church, I'm going to walk you upstairs, and I'm going to say bye, and how many kisses do you want? And I would ask him, and then I would say, okay, now I'm going to give you 3 kisses, and I'm going to say bye, and then you're going to say bye, mommy, and then when I come back, you'll say, I'm so happy to see you. And so we go through the whole thing, and I promise him I'm coming back. And so I'm preparing him for the situation where I know a tantrum might occur. And I forgot to do that a couple weeks ago, and of course he lost it when his dad took him to his class and I had to go with his baby brother. So I should have prepared him beforehand, and I know he would have done a lot better. You don't want to prepare too far in advance because sometimes then your kids are going to ask every single day for a week, are we going to grandma's house or whatever? But it's really good to prepare them and to simply practice. So I heard a story once of a mom practicing her little kids. She needed them to sit still at church. I think they didn't have a nursery at her church, and so she would line them up on the couch and they would practice sitting still, like 5-minute increments, and she would add. And so they would just practice sitting there and practicing the behavior that she wanted them to actually put into practice whenever they got to church. So sometimes you can do that. Practice the situation beforehand and prepare your kids before you get there. Rehearse how you want them to respond to you. When you say something, you can say, Mommy, when Mommy tells you to do something, you don't say no, you say yes, Mommy, or okay, Mommy, and you make them say that. Or if they can't say it yet, you still say yes, Mommy, and maybe they say yes, or they can try to verbalize. But you model for them what you want them to respond to you. You model for them please, thank you, manners, all those things. And so you're giving them that vocabulary. You're also teaching them how to interact in social situations. Before you get to the park, if we see a new friend, what do you say? You can say, hi, my name is, what's your name? And so you can give them those tools to build the relationships, even at a young age. So that's rehearsing, practicing, and preparing. And then lastly, the R is for reward. I have a nice little medal here. So reward, that can look many ways. A simple way is just your praise. You guys, imagine that your kids have just this stamp on their forehead that says, encourage me. I actually wrote a whole separate blog post about using words in a really powerful way, and so you can check that out on the blog. I'll have a link to it. But guys, they're just craving you to give them attention and to give them affirmation. And so sometimes it's hard, I know for me, to think of ways to praise them besides just saying good job. And so this book has a lot of great advice and examples. I put some of them on the blog post, but one of them is just describe what you see. So instead of saying good job, you can see, oh, I see that you use the color blue and red. Wow. What do you think about the color blue? You can actually just describe something. Or, wow, you hit the ball all the way to the fence. Look at that. Or, look how happy you made David when you shared your snack with him. So you can talk about their effect on others. You can describe what you see instead of just saying that's a good job. And so specific praise is huge. Anytime you see them do anything good, look for those opportunities to praise them and just see how that lifts them up. You can see a change on their countenance, because don't we like to be praised and recognized and noticed too? And so I know that our little kids are just craving that. Another thing you could give is stickers. You could give them candy or something more healthy. So those are a few things. Or I actually read a book one time, and I've done this that said you should just use a marker and give a check mark on your kid's hand when they did something well. And for a little while I would do this. I would say, oh, you did such a good job, I think you need a check mark. And I would give him a check mark, which meant pretty much absolutely nothing, but he thought it was really cool to have 5 checks on his hand. And then Daddy came home and I would say, oh, look at all the check marks that he has on his hand today. So that can be a really silly, simple tool. Again, you're just acknowledging and you're noticing that they did something right. And that can be a powerful motivator. Or you can praise one sibling for doing something right and then watch all the other siblings shape up in that area as well. So again, R stands for redo and role play and rehearse and reward. So I hope these 4 extra tools might help you in handling your toddler's tantrums. Thanks for tuning in.